Hello, welcome to the newspaper review. I am your host, Fatu George. On today's standard newspaper headlines, Governor Sedi addresses African Trade Finance Forum in London. Governments realigns on Vienna Convention to legitimize overseas ID card issuance misleading. Ex-Basse Area Council chairman not aware of $51 million withdrawal by Finance Director. Kande addresses African Political Parties Forum in Accra. New ANRD leader speaks. GPPA holds retreat to review procurement forums. Man arranged for prohibition of domestic violence. Now the news in detail. Bua Sedi, Governor of the Central Bank of the Gambia, has in a bold and uncompromising speech at Converge 25th meeting in London, said the African continent must redefine its role in the global commodity finance landscape. Converge 2025 is a thought leadership platform dedicated to advancing international trade finance for Africa. Converge 2025 is a thought leadership platform dedicated to advancing international trade finance for Africa and building capacity in compliance and risk management. It was held in London from the 6th to 8th August to foster impactful dialogue and actionable insights for the continent's growth and prosperity through trade finance, correspondent banking, and global payment. Governor Sedi's vision mirrors the central theme of the forum, rethinking commodity finance for growth, a call to action for policymakers, financial institutions, and trade actors to work in unison and capture greater value within Africa and break the cycle of dependency. Esanjai, political science lecturer at the University of the Gambia, now studying in the US, has said government's reference to the principle of extraterritorial jurisdiction under the 1961 Vienna Convention on diplomatic relations to justify the issuance of ID cards to Gambians abroad is a deliberate attempt to divert citizens' attention from the controversial policy. The Ministry of Interior defended the policy, saying under the Vienna Convention, Gambia retains legal authority to extend public services, including the issuance of national documents, to its citizens within the territory of its diplomatic missions and consulates. However, in a write-up shared with the Standard, Njai, who lectures diplomacy and foreign policy, urged that the real question Gambians are asking is why issuing of identity cards to Gambians abroad, not on the premises where the documents will be used. While this is more of a partisan political debate, and of course government reserves the right and responsibility to explain to Gambians the extensions of such services to its citizens in Mauritania, Gabon and Togo, and not India or South Africa or even Senegal, it is important for the ministry to use concepts in their proper context, not to mislead Gambians or deviate from the real question, Jai concluded. In his first media engagement, Mr. Job told the Standard yesterday that he will step into the footsteps of the late Gen Bojang to lead the party with integrity and total submission and allegiances to the Gambia and her people. Job, a former teacher and a native of Opanyomi district, was elected at a recent party congress. He disclosed that, as part of efforts to transform the party, the executive has decided to have a party leader and secretary general as separate positions. I think ANRD is the only political party that has that arrangement in the Gambia. This clearly demonstrates that we are committed to establishing a clear internal governance framework with transparent leadership selection process to foster unity and reduce factionalism. We will also promote leadership renewals to bring fresh energy and innovate ideas, ensuring that leaders groom successors to sustain the party's future, Job said. Fode Danjo, the former chairman of the Basse Area Council, yesterday testified at the Local Government Commission of Inquiry via Zoom from his current residence in the United States. The inquiry queried Danjo over the withdrawal of over $51 million from the council's account by one Lamin Susu, the finance director, during his time as council chairman. But according to the former chairman, he was not aware of such a withdrawal. Millions of dollars were withdrawn without authority. In fact, more than $51 million was withdrawn by the people you are supposed to supervise or give clearance to for those withdrawals. So, if your excuse is you do not know at the time, That's not an excuse. The law requires that you have to know, Council Gomez told the witness. The former chairman agreed that large sums of money were withdrawn, but the monies were used for projects. The government, through the Ministry of Health in collaboration with its development partners, has invested over $290 million in the ongoing expansion of Buyam General Hospital. The disclosure was made by the Minister of Health, Dr. Ahmadou Lamin Samate, during a 2-day nationwide inspection tour of health facilities currently under construction. Addressing at Buyam General Hospital, Minister Samate reaffirmed the government's commitment to delivering accessible and quality healthcare services across the country. He emphasized that the Buyam Hospital project is a significant step toward improving the health sector and ensuring that rural communities have access to modern medical facilities. The minister expressed profound gratitude to the World Bank for its financial contribution to the project and to the World Health Organization (WHO) for its technical support throughout the process. In sports, Mahdi Camara has reached an agreement with Nice for a summer transfer. Speaking to the press on Monday, Frank Hayes was asked about the possible arrival of Mahdi Camara. The coach confirmed the club's interest in the player. "He's a good player, that's for sure, and good players are often good signings," responded the Nice manager. Since then, Les Anglons have stepped up their efforts to sign the best midfielder. On Tuesday, RMC Sport reported that Camara has reached an agreement with the Riviera club on a 4-year contract. All that remains is for Nice to reach a deal with SB29 to finalize the arrival of the Gambian international. Moving on to the Point newspaper headlines, CG Dabo vows $23 billion revenue target by November. Gambia's oil exploration still underway, Minister Juara. GPPA sheds light on tragic sourcing technology and value creation for economic operators. Millions gather in Tuba today for Grand Magal. Alleged FGM-related death sparks national outcry, demand for justice. Now the news in detail. The Commissioner General of the Gambia Revenue Authority, GRA, Yankuba Dabo, has assured the nation that the authority would meet the possibly exceed its 2025 revenue target of $23 billion well before the year end. All things being equal, we will get our target, probably even in November, Dabo declared on Coffee Time with Peter Gomez on West Coast Radio Monday morning. The digital platforms we have in place are helping greatly in terms of blocking leakages. Dabo, joined in studio by Deputy Commissioner General Esa Diallo, said the GRA's ongoing digital transformation is revolutionizing tax collection and enforcement. Systems such as electronic VAT invoicing, rental income compliance, software and revenue assurance tools are streamlining process while curing tax evasion. Pressed by Gomez to clarify the controversial 27% benefit tax, CG Dabo insisted it was neither unique to the Gambia nor unfair targeted at private sector workers. The Gambia's long-standing question over whether it possesses commercially viable oil reserves remains unanswered. However, according to Minister of Petroleum, Energy and Mines, Nani Juara, exploration is still underway. Speaking on the state of the country's petroleum sector, Juara explained that while surveys are preliminary, data have suggested the possibility of hydrocarbon deposits, no company has yet struck commercially viable oil. We are proceeding with the caution, he said. The world has many examples where oil became a curse instead of a blessing. We will not push into agreements or exploitation without ensuring that the Gambian people are the primary beneficiaries. The minister outlined the ongoing work with international oil companies to re-evaluate exploration blocks, update geological data, and attract responsible investment. He emphasized that oil exploration is a long and costly process, often taking years from initial surveys to any confirmed discovery. The holy city of Tuba is awash with devotion, color, and unity today as millions of faithful take part in the Grand Magal, the largest annual religious gathering in Senegal. Pilgrims from across the country and around the world stream into the city of honor the life, teachings, and spiritual legacy of Sheikh Ahmadou Bamba, affectionately known as Serigne Touba. Observed each year on the 18th day of Safar, the second month of the Islamic lunar calendar, the Magal commemorates not only Bamba's life but also anniversary of his exile to Gabon in 1895. That exile, imposed by French colonial authorities, was meant to silence him. Instead, it became a defining period in his mission, strengthening his resolve to promote Islam through education, peaceful resistance, and unwavering faith. The Magal's significance extends far beyond faith. Economically, it is a giant injecting nearly 250 billion CFA, about 400 million US dollars into Senegal's economy each year. According to research from the University of Bombay, pilgrims spend an average of 105,000 CFA francs each during their stay, fueling demand for transport, accommodation, food, and religious items. As the sun set today's over Touba's gleaming minarets, pilgrims carry home not just memories of prayers but blessings received. Also, the reaffirmation of a collective identity rooted in faith, resilience, and generosity in honoring Serigne Touba. The Grand Magal continues to honor the values that bind Senegal together. The death of an infant allegedly linked to female genital mutilation or cutting, FGMC, a practice criminalized since 2015, has ignited a wave of outrage with women's rights advocates, National Human Rights Commission, and political leaders calling it a national disgrace and a brutal reminder that culture must never be used as a shield for violence. Lawmaker Toumanjay told the point that the death was directly linked to FGM and stressed that the Gambia, as a signatory to multiple human rights conventions, has a legal and moral duty to protect women and children. It is deeply disturbing that people continue to flout the law, inflicting harm on women and children, even to the point of taking a life, she said, urging a full investigation, prosecution, and enforcement of maximum penalties. Women in Liberation and Leadership condemned the legacy as both a personal and systematic failure. Citing police report, the group said the child was allegedly circumcised, suffered massive bleeding, and died upon arrival at Bundung Maternal and Child Health Care Hospital. Culture is no excuse, tradition is no shield. This was violence, pure and simple, WILL said, demanding that every perpetrator and enabler face justice. The National Human Rights Commission, NHRC, described the death as a grave violation of the child's right to life, dignity, and protection from torture. Commenting the Gambia Police Force for swift action, the NHRC urged the Inspector General of Police to ensure a thorough investigation and prosecution while calling on the government to intensify community education campaigns. No cultural or traditional justification can override the duty to protect children from harm, the Commission stated. In sports, Santamba United FC will today, Wednesday, 13th August 2025, rope Soldiers with Lucas FC in the opening match of the 2025 Gunjur Nawetan qualifier at the Gunjur Nawetan Mini Stadium at 3 p.m. The Gunjur Santamba-based team and the Gunjur Sambuyang Iceland-based team will both clash to beat each other to cruise to the second round of the Gunjur Nawetan qualifiers. One Infantry Battalion FC will battle it out with Freetown United FC at 5 p.m. on the same day. The Yundum Military Barrack-based team and the Gunjur Freetown-based team will both fight hard to defeat each other to sail to the second round of the Gunjur Nawetan qualifiers. On Thursday, 14th August 2025, Precious Plastic Gambia FC will take on Barcelona FC at 3 p.m. The duo will battle to stun each other to navigate to the second round of the Gunjur Nawetan qualifiers. Lion Stars Football Academy will lock horns with Gunjur Kanilai FC at 5 p.m. on the same day. The pair will clash to daze each other to cruise to the second round of the Gunjur Nawetan qualifiers. The 2025 Late Mofal Serekunda West Cup final is set for Sunday, 17th August 2025 at the Serekunda West Mini Stadium at 4:30 p.m. The most anticipated final will feature league champions Campbelltown FC and knockout champions Josuang City FC. The final is expected to attract spectators from Serekunda West and its environs, Late Alhaji Mofal Serekunda West Super Cup final marked the Late Alhaji Mofal Serekunda West Super Cup final marked the Kotian riser of the 2025-2026 Serekunda West wet season biggest football jam. It could be recalled that Campbelltown FC and Joshua FC won the Serekunda West Nawetan League and knockout trophies last season. Now to the Voice newspaper headline. Marketing chief of local farm urges GRA to regulate smuggling of beverages. Vendors at Bakau Tourist Craft Market blame low arrivals on high airport tax. Smiling Coast on display GT board host farm trip with value jet. Ministry's unannounced visit to government institutions is not a witch hunt. Now the news in detail. The Chief Executive Marketing Officer of Bell Bottling Company, Bori Dabo, has urged the Gambia Revenue Authority to regulate the smuggling of beverages into the country, posing a threat to Gambian industries. Speaking to The Voice on Tuesday, Mr. Dabo appealed to GRA's Commissioner General Yankoba Dabo to do something to tackle smuggling. He laments that Bell Bottling Company is facing with illicit importation of beverage products, which, according to him, are mostly untagged beverages. He accused those who smuggled goods into the country as selfish people who avoided taxation and were not ready to comply, and they did not come through the borders. Mr. Dabo pleads with President Barrow's administration to protect local industries so that they can grow, claiming that it is a nightmare for a local industry to transport its products to Senegal, describing such an adventure as frustrating. Dozens of vendors at Bakau Craft Market have revealed that many tourists are not visiting the Gambia due to the high tax they pay at the airport. Speaking to The Voice newspaper, Seni Singate, the president of Bakau Craft Market, reveals that at the moment, business is not working out as expected. We are in the off-season. The business is very dull. For the past months, we come to the market, sit the whole day without any sale. It is because we don't have anything to engage in other than this, he complained. Another vendor, Anchatal, who lamented similar problems they continue to face. She emphasized that a lot of tourists complain about the high tax and hotels bills. If you overcharge a visitor, obviously he or she will look for another alternative that can affect the business, she added. In a strategic effort to boost regional tourism, the Gambia Tourism Board has partnered with ValueJet Airline to organize a high-profile familiarization tour farm trip aimed at promoting Destination Gambia to the West African market. The tour featured a blend of Nigerian and Gambian social media influencers, business leaders, travel writers, popular Nigerian actors, and senior officials from both ValueJet and GT Board's marketing unit. Participants used the opportunity to capture and share the rich experiences of the Gambia, affectionately known as the Smiling Coast of Africa, boosting the country's visibility through storytelling and content creation. ValueJet, founded in 2018 with a vision of connecting people and places through modern air travel, officially launched operations in the Gambia on May 15, 2025. The airline now operates direct flights between Nigeria and the Gambia twice weekly, departing Lagos on Thursday and Sundays and returning from Banjul on Mondays and Fridays. A tragic electrocution claimed the life of a young boy at 5 Johnson, Sinchu Balia, after a routine tree trimming task turned deadly. Eyewitnesses said the boy, whose identity was not immediately released, had been hired to cut branches from a tree growing dangerously close to the high-tension electricity lines operated by the National Water and Electricity Company, NAWEC. According to those on the scene, while trimming the branches, the metal cutlass he was using accidentally came into contact with the live wires. The powerful electric current killed him instantly, leaving shocked residents and family members in grief. NAWEC confirmed the incident and expressed deep sadness over the fatality, extending condolences to the bereaved family. The company described the death as a painful loss to the community and issued a stern safety reminder about the dangers of working near electrical infrastructure. Residents are advised to call NAWEC's Customer Service Center on 1669 to report any trees or objects encouraging on power lines rather than trying to remove them themselves. As investigations continue, NAWEC has reiterated its commitment to both powering the nation and safeguarding lives. At least 40 people have been killed in an attack on a camp for displaced people in Sudan's western Darfur region, according to an aid group that works there. The Abu Shuk Emergency Response Room said Monday's assault was carried out by the Rapid Support Force, that is the RSF. The resistance committee in nearby El Fasher city, made up of local citizens and activists, also reported this. El Fasher, which came under intense attack as well, is the last major foothold in Darfur for the army and its allies, which have been fighting the paramilitary RSF in the 2-year civil war. The conflict was triggered a humanitarian crisis, with the UN warning that families trapped in this city face starvation. Sudanese media reported that the camp was caught in the crossfire of the fighting in El Fasher. Since the conflict began in April 2023, tens of thousands of people have died, 12 million have been forced from their homes, and famine has been declared in parts of the country. Kalilu Tarawale of Brikama Town, Tuesday, 12th August 2025, appeared before Brikama Magistrate Court charged with stealing. Appearing before the presiding magistrate KB Sambu, the accused was charged of stealing contrary to Section 226 of the Criminal Offence Act, laws of the Gambia. The Inspector General of Police was represented by Corporal E. Fofana, while the accused was not represented by legal counsel. According to the particulars of offence, on or about 3rd August 2025, at Brikama in the West Coast region, Tarawale stole a Samsung mobile phone valued at $22,000, the property of one Alhaji Bari. When the charge was read to him, the accused pleaded guilty, with Magistrate Sambu subsequently ordering him to be remanded at Mile 2 Central Prison pending judgment. The case was adjourned to 19th August 2025 for the prosecution to present the facts before sentencing could come up. In sports, Power Station FC will now face Jalokoto FC of Fonyi in the final playoff round to determine who qualifies for the Nawetan proper. Berewuleng women's team has confirmed that their captain Kumba Gassama has joined the squad in Senegal ahead of their 3rd match in the Confederation of Africa Football Women's Champions League qualifiers. Currently competing in the West Africa Football Union WAFU Zone A tournament, Berewuleng FC lost their opening game 2-1 against Eglis Medina, but bounced back with a 1-0 victory over Ram Kamara FC, thanks to a lone goal from Sarah Jaju. Team captain Kumba Gassama has joined the rest of the team in camp ahead of our next CAF Women's Champions League WAFU Zone A qualifiers match. Her presence and leadership will be a big boost for the ladies as we continue our journey, the club stated. Berewuleng FC will face USFAS Bamako on August 14th before concluding the qualifiers against determined Girls FC on August 17th. Now to the foreign newspaper headlines. Ministries asked to develop training manuals on prevention, prohibition, torture. Government eyes 90% electricity coverage by end of 2025. Alleged serial rapist accuses police of torture. Elderly man in Farato accused of assaulting wife with bicycle lock. Lawyer challenges badge messenger's testimony in Jaro land dispute. Now the news in detail. In a heartfelt ceremony held on Sunday, August 10, 2025, National Assembly member of Serekunda constituency, Honorable Musa Cham, generously donated 2 motor tricycles along with football gear to Bartes and London Corner Ward. This initiative was made possible through the Constituency Development Fund, originally established by his predecessor and designed to address the pressing needs of constituents. The presentation took place at the Constituency Ward Development Office in Serekunda, where community members gathered to celebrate the donation, which aims to empower local residents. Lamin Fadera, representing the Serekunda Masengelau Ward, expressed gratitude for the motor tricycles, highlighting their potential impact on the community. These tricycles will be invaluable for maintaining our roads, he explained. They can transport materials like sand and stones to fill the numerous potholes plugging our streets. Reflecting on the broader mission of the donation, Honorable Cham noted that this initiative aligns with the CDF's vision. The funds allocated allow the community to not only strengthen their infrastructure but also to invest in youth engagement through sport. In a rape case involving 4 alleged victims, the accused Yahya Kamara told a court on Tuesday, August 12, 2025, that he was tortured by a criminal investigation department officer, causing what he described as a serious internal injuries. The matter is before Magistrate Aissatou Jallow of the Bursui Magistrate Court, sitting in Bundum. Kamara, who is representing himself, claimed during his testimony that one of the victims had framed him, leading to his arrest in Sukuta. He recounted that a CID officer, whose name he did not disclose, approached him while he was speaking with the 4th alleged victim. I was severely hurt by a beating from an officer in my waistband, in which I sustained pain, and I also continued to be beaten in the vehicle until when another officer called Baji arrived and told him to stop beating me up. He said, "I had not raped these girls. They are just accusing me of a crime I didn't commit," Kamara told the court. The prosecution, which has closed its case, called 4 witnesses, all alleged victims, who testified that Kamara unlawfully assaulted them in May 2024 in the West Coast region. The charges filed under the Sexual Offence Act 2013 allege that Kamara had carnal knowledge of each without their consent. The names of the alleged victims have been withheld to protect their identities. The case will resume on August 14, 2025 for cross-examination. An elderly man from Farato appeared before the Brikama Magistrate Court on Monday, accused of strangling his wife on the head with a bicycle lock cable in an alleged act of domestic violence. The defendant, Kemo Cisse, stood before Magistrate Fofana on August 11, 2025, charged with 1 count of domestic violence under Section 172 of the Domestic Violence Act 2013. Prosecutors say the incident occurred on July 22, 2025 in Farato, a village in the Gambia's West Coast region, where Mr. Cisse allegedly assaulted his wife, Sona Fati, leaving her injured. The cross-examination of a key witness in a bitter land dispute between the villages of Njoro Jarol and Jarol took center stage at the Brikama Magistrate Court on Wednesday, with defense lawyer F. Conte questioning the credibility of the messenger who delivered a court order in the case. The witness, Salifu Cisse, identified himself as the badge messenger for the chief of Jarol district. Save for Ibrahima Solo Sanyang, he was testifying in a case involving Alhaji Job, Abdullah Job, and 8 others. Inspector Fadera appeared for the Inspector General of Police, while Mr. Conte represented the defendant. Magistrate Aissatou Jallow of the Bursui Magistrate Court on Tuesday, August 12, 2025, sentenced Senegalese national Aliou Badara Cham to 12 years in Mile 2 Central Prison for unlawfully breaking, theft, and willfully damage to property. Cham, known to authorities in both the Gambia and Senegal for similar offences, had reportedly fled Senegalese legal authorities before residing in the Gambia. His crimes, prosecutors said, reflect a pattern of transactional activity during his initial plea. Cham denied all 3 charges. The prosecution called 5 witnesses to testify. However, during the hearing of the 5th witnesses, Cham changed his stance and admitted to the crimes. His guilty plea was then formally recorded. In sports, Gambian budding football star Musa Njai has made an instant impact as he scored in his debut with the new club Osters IF in their 4-3 defeat against Lance Kroner in the under-21 match. Njai, who was the best player of Gambia's First Division League club BST Galaxy in the 2024-2025 season, was announced on Monday that he will be joining the Swedish top tier on a 3-week trial. The 18-year-old attacker is training with both Osters IFS, a team and under-19 squad in Faxjo, and he has already impressed for his novel club in his first game. Both the player and the club are happy about the prospect of the deal. This is all we have for you in our today's newspaper review. Please do stay tuned for more newspaper review, and please don't forget to subscribe, like, share and comment. I remain your host, Fatou George.